Let's love on our town. Don't just love your town, but love on your town.
Going to the local events, eating locally, shopping locally, being loud about what you love, appreciating what we have.
Take the opportunity to discover those hidden gems.
Welcome to the For Henderson podcast, where we share stories of the people in our community who are helping build a great city and showing us every day that they are for Henderson. Welcome back to the For Henderson podcast. I am here today with Abby Dixon and Ellie Kellen, the dynamic duo from the Henderson Tourism Commission. So Abby and Ellie, just tell us a little bit more about yourselves and what it is that you all do at the Tourism Commission together.
Well, my name is Ellie Kellen. I'm the marketing director at the Henderson Tourism Office, and I've been in that position for a little over 2 years now. I'm loving it. I get to do the fun things like take photos at events and see the social media posts. That's kind of what I do every day, and then I feel like it's a little different day to day what's going on in the office. So.
Yeah.
And I'm Abby Dixon.
Yeah.
I take all the credit in the world for hiring the fabulous Ellie Kellen.
No, I'm just
My claim to fame. I've been in my role, it'll be 9 years this year with the Henderson Tourism Commission. And I always say, whenever I first met Kyle Hittner, who was my predecessor, and I got to know her and what she did for her job, I thought, not in like a I'm coming after you way, but I thought that's my dream job. Like if there's
Yeah.
ever an opportunity for me to get on board with that, that's what I want to do. And I felt that way then. And I think it's probably pretty rare that 9 years in, you still feel that way about your job. But I still feel that way.
Yeah, that's very cool. And Abby's actually been on the show before, so if you missed that episode, you can go back and find it, listen to that. She talks a lot more about the tourism, role in Henderson and things like that. We're going to hear more about that today. Funny story, though. I just want to bring this up on the podcast. I applied for Ellie's job,
Oh my
and and Abby selected Ellie over me. And I just have to say, perfect choice. I mean, you definitely made the right choice. I've been following Henderson Tourism since before you were there, and I just love what you do, all the content that you're putting out, and the creative stuff that you do. It's been really cool. I think you made the right choice.
Well, I'll tell you, I hated that whole process.
I could
I
tell.
hope I
I could
never
tell.
have to do it again.
Yeah. Well.
That's on you. I
I'm not going anywhere. So
I think like conducting the job search where I'm in charge and like
Yeah.
it's worse for me than it is for anyone else.
Oh, I'm sure. I don't want to be in that position.
Yeah.
But when you can look back and say, you know what, I made the right call here. Like this is a good pick, and things are like you said on the last episode. Rising tides raise all ships, and I feel
Mhm.
like Abby or Ellie's contribution to just the social media stuff has been really cool
For
to be able to
sure.
see the way it's been captured and shared. And so yeah, congratulations to you.
And you're killing it too, Josh.
Hey,
Yeah.
well, you know what, I'm trying. I'm
you're a
trying.
guest here today. So
That's right. That's right. Well, I did want to say have seen tons of stuff you put out. It's been really cool to watch, and I think people overlook the content creation type of things. Abby and I spoke on the last episode about some of the higher level tourism things, but
Yeah.
like things like Instagram really move the needle, and
Mhm.
and so being able to see really cool things on there is fun to see. So the two of you kind of together, and it's just the two of you in the office, right?
So we are the only two full-time staff.
Okay.
Yep.
Shout out to Heather and Dana. They are our part-timers,
Okay.
and they really keep us grounded in the office, keep things moving
Yeah,
along.
they do.
Um, we are two all over the place creative minds sometimes. So
Yeah, I'll agree with that.
Yeah, definitely. I'm glad that you mentioned that. I don't want to overlook anyone.
absolutely.
But as the only two full timers that are kind of in and out all day, the day in day out grind of helping people see the beauty of Henderson. What does a day in the life of your all's crazy office experience look like?
I feel like it's always changing
Always.
depending on season, event, or just what's going on.
Mhm.
Sometimes we're being like tour directors on buses
Mm-hmm.
for
Last minute.
for cruisers last minute, don't know it until like after everyone's loaded and they're like, "Where's the tour guides?" And we're
That's
like,
us now.
Hello.
"Hi." Sometimes I'm in Audubon or the sloughs taking pictures. That's some of my favorite times at work is being able to go out in nature, especially when it's warm outside.
Mm-hmm.
It's not been super,
It's been a little tricky lately.
yeah, and with the ice and snow.
Oh yeah, pretty but
Yeah.
Yeah.
slippery.
Sometimes I'm in my like editing cave where I turn off all the lights in my office and
Yeah.
just get on Premiere Pro or Canva and try to crank stuff out.
Yep.
Um,
Been there.
but yeah, it's kind of all over the place.
And what's fun about, there are, of course, challenges whenever you have a small budget, a small
Right.
team. But it's also, there are a lot of opportunities for fun and creativity.
Yeah.
And so it's, nothing for Ellie and I to kind of pop into each other's offices and maybe it's like a crazy off the wall idea. That's usually Ellie. And I usually say, yeah, let's do it. Let's do
And
it.
it pays off most of the time.
Most of the time. Hey, you
Yeah.
know what? Majority of the time is good enough.
Yeah.
That's good. So you all, I'm sure, have seen and heard some crazy things over the course of the 2 years that you've been together. The 9 years you've been. Is it 9? Did you say
Going
9
on
years?
9. Yeah, that's
Tourism. Um,
getting old.
what I would love to hear just something that you've heard or a story that you've experienced in the tourism world. And I know that Ellie may have some cool opportunities to share some of those stories on social media,
Yeah.
but I bet there's some fun ones that maybe don't make social media. What are what are some really cool stories or funny or fun stories that you get to experience in the tourism world?
Well, I'll tell one that I think I'll tell you, the Governor Andy,
Yeah.
really took to this story. And so this one is probably not like a hidden secret at this point anymore. But one
Yeah.
of my favorite stories that is kind of off the wall. Um, a few years ago on one of our river cruises, we had a wonderful, amazing lady named Jackie Calvert who stepped off that boat. And the way she tells the story, she walked up the ramp and said, "Oh my goodness, this is home. This is where I want to be."
Oh wow.
And so Jackie moved to Henderson. She moved from Florida and is still here now. She's actually purchased 2 houses, I think, in the
Wow.
time that she's been here. Obviously, it doesn't happen like all the time that someone steps off a river cruise and says, "I'm going to move here." That's probably like the ultimate goal. But like, what a cool story,
That is a cool
that
story.
we really won her over to the point where she packed up her whole life, and she's like an amazing. She's an artist. She's like she's a volunteer in our community. She's like an ideal citizen.
Yeah.
And I feel like we landed her. We did. But we could probably come up with some like pretty off the wall, like weird stuff that happens.
So mine involves a river cruiser as well, but it was a Viking river cruiser this past summer, and this did make it on social media because nothing really gets
I know
past
what you're
me.
gonna.
But it was for the age range, she was a younger woman, and
Because those cruises kind of lean older, right?
yeah, they're
Older and rich.
yes,
Yeah. Yeah,
affluent.
cool.
So like she didn't have like a lot of tattoos, but she came to Kentucky, wasn't planning on it because they're supposed to be on the Mississippi.
Correct.
So they get detoured here
Mhm.
and just got off the boat and found a tattoo shop and then got the state of Kentucky tattooed on her arm with like a little bourbon thing
Wow.
after she had been to the bourbon and barbecue experience at Homer's.
Shout out to
And she was
Jonathan
just
and
like,
Casey.
I was asking her questions. I was like, so do you do this every time you travel somewhere? And she was like, no,
Made an
I
impression.
just felt called to today. And I was like, okay. And so that is on our socials if you want to go back months and months to see the tattoo.
Since we're here,
Mhm.
how do people follow Henderson Tourism Commission? Give us,
Yeah, so Instagram, Facebook at Tour Henderson KY. And if you look up Henderson Tourist Commission on Facebook, you'll get that as well. We're also on YouTube. We have a TikTok. It hasn't been as active lately because we've been really focusing on the Instagram, Facebook. But that's where you'll get all of your updates on events, the cool things happening in town, and just like some unique stories like the tattoo lady.
Yeah, that is a cool story. I feel like we made a major impression on her if she's
Yeah.
gonna get
Absolutely.
That was a
permanent
really
ink.
cool day because people were like walking out of Hometown Roots and they were just like commenting on like this is like truly a Hallmark town.
Yeah.
And that wasn't even that was in the midst of summer. We didn't have our Christmas stuff up, it was
Mhm.
just like truly what we are. And so that was just really cool.
Yeah, that is cool.
There are days that because I mean, Ellie's right. You never really know what the day might hold.
Mhm.
Um, because we're a small team, like it's not that I always specialize in this, and Ellie always stays in her lane with this. I mean, it's a lot of we're doing what at a lot of tourism offices could be, at least a dozen different
Oh,
jobs.
wow.
Yeah.
So there are days that I'll just say it's kind of been a weird day, but we have.
I think you said that twice last week.
I think I probably did. I think we have a similar sense of humor,
Yeah.
and I
That
think
always
that
helps.
having a sense of humor about things is
Mhm.
pretty important in life. So we have a lot of fun.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I can already tell that your all's chemistry is fun, and it's got to be a fun but entertaining work environment, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
So Ellie, you just mentioned the Hallmark vibe.
Mhm.
And speaking of a Hallmark Christmas, I would love for you all to share a little. So it's at the time of this recording, it's February, and we have had Christmas decorations up pretty much since maybe November, like Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Maybe
Of tw-
even after Halloween.
Yeah, yeah. And so we had this cool opportunity to have I don't know if it's Hallmark, but a Christmas movie
It's pretty
shot.
close.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
pretty close. A Christmas movie shot in downtown Henderson here in the last few weeks, and I think that's just a really cool. Like, share a little bit more about that, the experience, what the impact might look like, and when can we watch this movie?
Yeah. So I would love to talk more about this. So
Let's hear it.
one of the kind of at the state level, like I said, we tourism means a lot of different things. Okay. So sometimes it's like a group on a motor coach. Sometimes it's getting really creative with how we bring those dollars into the state through perhaps film.
Mm-hmm.
So backtrack a couple of legislative sessions ago, the legislators, they reinstated and then expanded these film incentives. So just like there are incentives for a big company like Pratt, for example,
Mm-hmm.
to locate in Kentucky, hire a bunch of people, create a great economic impact, there are also now really great incentives for filmmakers.
Hmm.
So if you watch like till the end of the credits on movies, oftentimes you'll see that films were either made in California or Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
Well, California is kind of obvious, but Georgia, it's because the state at the, legislative level has really been intentional about investing in incentives to bring film to their state.
Okay.
So why not us?
Yeah.
We have all four seasons. We have big cities. We have small towns. We have tons of water. Like I think we have the most coastline out of any state,
Oh, wow.
like mileage wise.
Mhm.
Huh.
Um,
Because the Mississippi runs or I guess the Ohio runs so far across. Is that?
I don't really. I'll come back for the a later episode to really delve into the
We
details.
can talk more about geography next time.
Yeah. Um, but anyway, so these film incentives, it's kind of a partnership with the Economic Development Cabinet and the Tourism Cabinet.
Mm-hmm.
There's a Kentucky film office. But here in Western Kentucky, we didn't want to just say, yeah, we hope that filmmakers find their way to our rural Western Kentucky towns. So we then created with about 9 or 10 other counties the West Kentucky Film Commission. So we've hired a group to go out. Actually, they represented us in LA in November at the American Film
Oh,
Market.
wow.
So we're really trying to be aggressive about
Mhm.
bringing film to our state and to our region, specifically in Western Kentucky.
That's very cool.
So this one, it's a feel good, holly jolly movie. The title is Happy Holly Day. They ended up bringing about 30 total, like cast and crew, mostly from LA. Um, they shot between Henderson and Owensboro. You're correct. We are not just lazy for leaving the Christmas decorations up. The city was great to work with whenever we made that ask, as were the downtown business owners. And actually, filming just wrapped up yesterday.
Oh, wow.
Um, here's an example of like how things work here. Whereas even like in Louisville, it probably wouldn't go this way. They needed a lift to black out the windows on the vault because they're filming in the middle of the day, but it needed to look like nighttime in the vault.
Mm-hmm.
And my guy Bobby from Public Works went up on that lift on Sunday morning on his day off and
On Super Bowl Sunday.
on Super
A
Bowl
big
Sunday
Sunday.
and helped make sure that that happened. And
Wow.
so, again, it's really fun to be able to say we have this like happy Christmas movie that is being filmed in Henderson, but at the end of the day, it's about economic impact.
Yeah.
And I think that this will be the first of many.
That's
And
very cool.
Ellie and I, when we get our big break, we will keep
We're
our
really
day
doing this for
jobs.
us. And this podcast is just one step in that direction.
That's right.
Yeah, I love to be a step on the journey. And it's funny that you mentioned that, like the way that Georgia just kind of was really intentional about,
Yeah.
because I've noticed over the last few years, every time I watch a movie, and
Georgia
now you,
pops up.
yeah, the Georgia peach
Yeah.
at the end, and now you have to watch till the very, very end because they keep sneaking in those like post credit
I
scenes.
know.
So now I always see the Georgia peach because I'll fast forward and I'll get to
You
the
don't
end.
miss anything.
I don't want to miss that last scene and Georgia peach, and I've been seeing it now. I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah,
constantly.
everywhere.
So what do you all think our version of that will be? Gonna be like a bourbon glass, a horse,
Ooh, it should be.
like a
I don't know. I kind of want a bird just for us.
a bird. That,
We do love our birds.
We love
yeah,
our
that
birds.
would be a good fit. I mean, we're spearheading this thing. Like we've got Holly Jolly. We should get to
Come
pick.
on.
We should get to
We
pick
get
the
to
little
pick.
logo at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'll work on that.
there you go. We'll come up with something
Just
nice
our
and creative.
feather.
Yeah.
Yeah, the feather, that would be
That'd be a
great.
good one.
Yeah.
That would be great. I mean, Georgia peach is pretty iconic.
Iconic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, so is the Henderson feather, Josh. So.
It's gonna be. It's gonna be now that everyone in the world is gonna be watching movies and scrolling to the end to see the last Marvel scene.
That's right.
And there's the feather.
The feather.
It's gonna be
In
great.
all her glory.
It's gonna be great.
In all her fine lines.
That's right. So where do you all see now? And the film industry is a great example of this. But where else do you all see just some momentum starting to pick up in Henderson in terms of just economic impact, but also just community development, the people, the just the opportunity here? Where are you starting to see some momentum in things?
I think that the distillery coming up is a big part of
Yeah.
that. I mean, bourbon is
Kentucky. icon.
Kentucky
Absolutely.
spirit, a Kentucky spirit.
Actually, America's native spirit.
Yeah.
And it's
The
sold
whole
that way
the
around
whole
world.
shebang.
It's the only one,
Um,
right? The only American native spirit, and it's a
yeah.
Kentucky thing.
Yep.
Yeah,
It's pretty
and
cool.
people will argue that not all bourbon is made in Kentucky, but I would argue
We know.
all good bourbon is made in Kentucky.
I actually argued with someone about that one time. I guess I was wrong, but I was like, you can't call this bourbon.
It
This
kind
is
of like gets me a little agitated when I'm driving like through Indiana or like
I
and
know.
I see like bourbon distillery. I'm like, no,
no.
No,
This is,
no,
we can call you call it
sorry,
whiskey, but
sorry.
yeah,
I'll get over it though. No, I think the distillery is going to be really big. That group that travels, especially for bourbon,
mm-hmm.
they've been to all of like the big hot spots
Right.
in Louisville and Central Kentucky, and they're looking for more niche things. And I think that when we have that to offer them, it'll be a really cool opportunity for our visitors to actually
Mhm.
experience, like, have a true bourbon experience in Henderson.
Yeah, absolutely. That is. I agree with that. What about you, Abby?
Yeah, I think for me, a downtown boutique hotel
Yeah.
is really game changing. So, I'm not going to sugarcoat this. A lot of times we have visitors that are coming to Henderson, especially like if you have a larger group. They're coming to Henderson to spend like their time in Henderson, but then, maybe they go across the bridge to stay the night. So they're sleeping across the bridge, but they're spending most of their time here. And I think being able to offer something that feels really local, really special, um, chain hotel, they're great. Like having Marriott, Hilton, like you know what you're going to get. But I'm really excited for what Roger and Aaron are doing with the Soper Building,
Mm-hmm.
bringing this historic property back to life, like as a hotel again. Um, I don't know. I think that's pretty next level for us, and I think that's going to be a great anchor for our downtown.
Yeah.
And then thinking about the catalyst that it will be to spur other developments and more restaurants
Yeah.
and more shops. It's pretty cool to think about the snowball effect there.
Yeah, that's cool. I'm the type who, if I'm gonna visit somewhere, I want the full local experience.
Me
The
too.
authentic experience.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's a step in that direction.
Mhm.
And the
100%.
distillery, like
Yeah.
if I'm from Florida and I'm stepping off a boat, I'm apparently moving there immediately. I want to go to, stay in the local
Yeah.
hotel, go to the local distillery,
Yeah.
restaurant. And if I go to the restaurant, like I want to ask, like, what's your thing? Like, what's the thing here?
Yeah.
And I want to try that thing.
Yeah.
Like, I just want to experience something. And so having just kind of a wide array of all those different things, when someone visits, they can try all the things. They don't have to
100%.
go across the river. Because why you want to go across the river?
We're good neighbors,
Yes.
Yeah,
but
yeah, yeah.
we really like our side of the bridge.
Yeah, I agree with that. And I have a ton. I mean, I own another business here in Henderson, and we have a lot of Evansville folks that come across. And I do tease them that them coming here is a better option than us coming there. But we're just teasing. It's all in good fun.
Yeah.
What's a small thing that makes a big difference in Henderson and in your all's world in terms of the outsiders looking in, some small things that me and other residents like may do that just makes a huge difference in how we are perceived.
I can give you a really easy answer.
Okay.
Like, takes very little energy to make a big impact.
Okay.
Okay, so something that I think Ellie heard me talk about this in when she was interviewing for the job, and I don't really shut up about it because I think it's such an important part of what we do. Um, we are the best advocates for ourselves. Like if we don't, we could have a $1 trillion marketing budget, but if our residents don't believe in Henderson as a destination, I'm gonna say that $1 trillion marketing budget, I mean, it still matters. It would be nice,
It would be
but
really
doesn't
nice.
go nearly as far. So, there's actually the state of Kentucky Department of Tourism has done what's called resident sentiment studies. And what we see is whenever our residents see tourism advertising from their local tourism commissions, whether it's a print ad in Garden and Gun or a commercial on TV or something as simple as our social media posts that
Mhm.
Ellie's, working so hard to crank out every day, it makes our residents actually feel better about the place that they call home. It's like
Yeah.
positive psychology. So something that makes a huge impact if if you see a post that, like, I mean, I'm not saying you have to share every Henderson Tourist Commission
Yeah, you
Facebook
do.
post, but if you see something that we post that like kind of gets you jazzed, share it. I mean, think about everyone that is in your network online. And I just sounded really on your network online. I sounded like my
on
grandmother.
on their MySpace,
Um,
yeah, MySpace.
yeah, you would be in my top 8 for sure. But just like a simple share.
Yeah.
The people that will see your post, and you never know how that's going to come full circle.
Hmm.
Um, so very low energy, like it's just a
Yeah.
couple of clicks, and it
Right.
has a big impact.
And I think too, like, I will say that I think our social media is probably one of the very few online that just purely has positive,
Yeah.
Mhm.
content. And I'm really proud that people can see our stuff even when things maybe aren't so positive and just like
Hmm.
makes them feel happy. And so,
Absolutely.
um, that's another reason to follow at Tor Henderson KY on
Absolutely.
It will
Instagram
make
and
you
Facebook.
happy. Guaranteed
It will.
endorphins.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
Makes
then
you
please
love where you live.
like,
Yeah.
share, comment.
It's yeah. Don't forget to subscribe, like, share, do all the things. And it's funny because for residents, there's a decent chance that maybe we don't see
Yeah.
or even follow your all's stuff because we're not really the target audience. We're
Right.
not tourists.
No. Yeah.
Um, but I follow all the channels
Well,
and I
thank
like to
you.
see and I like to share. And like you said, Abby, it's just I'm a genuine advocate for our city,
Mhm.
I'm not saying that because look at me. I love Henderson, and I want other people to see that too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the content that you all are pushing out to people that don't live here, mostly, it's cool for us to see it too, and
Yeah.
cool for us to be able to celebrate. Like, I live there. Like, this is
Yeah.
this is my home, and look how cool it is. And
Yeah.
so the festivals and the wildlife and the parks. Abby mentioned on the last episode she was on the quiet that you can find in Henderson that maybe you
Yeah.
can't find other places.
Mhm.
Sandy Lee Watkins Park. I will
Fabulous.
I will go out there when I need that solitude and that
Yeah.
quiet.
Mhm.
I'll go out there and sit by like that farthest lake, the one at the back corner or whatever.
Mhm.
Yep.
I'll sit out there. I may not see anybody all day or however long, and it's just quiet, peaceful.
So peaceful.
Yeah, and I love that. And there's just so many cool little things about our city that you may miss if you don't. see it from the outsider's perspective, see the quote unquote touristy parts of things.
Yeah.
And so, yeah.
And I think, to put this back on the listeners, Josh,
Yeah.
I think we kind of have like a responsibility, for whatever, we all have different reasons, but we are all choosing to be here, right?
Sure.
Like, you're choosing to be here. Let's love on our town. Like,
For sure.
don't just love your town, but love on your town. And go out and take the opportunity to discover those hidden gems,
Yeah.
or a new local restaurant that maybe you haven't tried before.
Yeah.
It build it up,
Yeah.
and then
And I think
like,
you'd
share,
be
comment.
surprised like how much there is to discover.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I mean, I was when I came into this position, lived here my whole life, and I'm still learning things every day, even though it's my job to,
Mhm.
highlight them. It's cool to get to know the stories and the people behind
Yeah.
some of the coolest things in town.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's a really good segue into what I always want to close every episode with. How do we do that? How do we love on our town? What does it actually look like for us as local people, residents of Henderson, to be for Henderson? What does that mean?
I think for me, it's going to the local events, going eating locally, shopping locally, being loud about what you love, and
And tag in Tour Henderson.
tagging Tor Henderson KY. We love user generated content over here, so yeah, or just like being like in a place like Audubon and appreciating what we have.
Yeah,
Mhm.
for sure. Abby, you've been on before.
Yeah.
And I'd be curious, as this conversation has developed with the three of us, as opposed to
Mhm.
just you and I that were on the first episode, is there anything you would add to your previous answer? I mean, what does advocacy look like? What is
Yeah. Yeah. So I think, on the last episode that I got to join you for, Josh, I talked about, kind of the rising tide lifts all ships
hmm
approach. And we all kind of have things that we're passionate about. And whenever you combine, it's like a really delicious vegetable soup, right? Like, like, I'll bring the carrots, because that's my thing, and you bring the diced potatoes
Yeah.
because you gotta have, that starchy
I'm getting
goodness,
hungry.
right? Like, so whenever we all have kind of what we can add, to the soup to make Henderson the best that it can be,
hmm
um, it creates a really beautiful flavor. I mean, I if I could go back and edit this out, I would probably compare it more to a symphony because that sounds a little better. But we have our
Get a stew going.
yeah.
Hey,
We all have
we like
something that
stew.
we bring to the table. I think, we have a responsibility for cheering each other on. And I love, to see like individuals that are doing really cool things for our community celebrated.
hmm
And so,
Yeah.
just how you can like, share, and comment on the Tour Henderson KY post, I think whenever we see those positive things happening, like Ellie said, let's make that loud.
Yeah, be loud. Yeah, I like that. That's good, really good language. Be loud about,
Yeah.
a loud advocate. Just,
Yeah.
celebrate loudly. And I
Yeah.
think that's really cool. Well, I really appreciate you both coming on and just sharing more about what you do for tourism and for Henderson. And I can tell that both of you are really for Henderson. And it's just really cool to hear some of those stories.
For Henderson.
Yeah, the dynamic duo of the Henderson Tourism Commission. And we're definitely going to have Ellie back on to have some conversation with her, just one-on-one like we did with Abby previously, and just to hear more about what she does and how she is for Henderson. But until then, really appreciate you guys coming on, and maybe we can do it again sometime.
Thanks for listening, and follow Tor Henderson KY on
At Tour Henderson KY. Yeah, at Tour Henderson KY on all the platforms. Just look for them and see it, share it. Watch it, share it, do all the things. It's really cool. I will continue to sing your praises, Ellie. It's great content.
Thank you.
And it's a great way to, like Abby said, it's easy advocacy. Just do it. Just follow, share, do it. Love where you live. And until next time, thanks for listening. Thanks for listening, and thanks for being for Henderson. Because great cities don't just happen, they're built. Don't forget to subscribe wherever you're listening, and let's keep building ours together.